Okay, from the soon-to-be 51st state.
That's right. I like that.
Muriel Bowers is here, Mayor of Washington, D.C. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Easy. I'm doing great.
Okay, you got here today?
I got here this morning. We are here to educate Americans about Washington, D.C. and why we deserve to be a state.
Okay, statehood.
Statehood, that's what we're all about. You know, we've had a big effort to update our Constitution to get the question of statehood on the ballot for November the 8th. But we know it's going to take Democrats and Republicans to achieve full statehood for Washington.
Okay, so what kind of work are we going to have to put in to make that happen?
Well, part of the work we're doing today is just educating average Americans. Most people don't know that Washington, D.C. is not paid for by the federal government, that the residents of the District of Columbia pay federal taxes. In fact, we pay more taxes than 22 states of the Union. We're larger than 2 states of the Union. We're a fiscally healthy jurisdiction that is the envy of most jurisdictions. And we pretty much function like a state, but we don't have full representation. We don't have a vote in the House of Representatives, and we don't have voting senators.
So why do you think that is so, and why has it been going on so long? We've been having this conversation in D.C. for way too long.
Well, what's important is that we are ready when the political winds are blowing in the same direction. I think we had an opportunity back in 2009 when we had the White House and both houses. So we're hopeful that we may have like-minded people in all 3 houses again soon. That's why we think it's important to have a vote in November, to have the D.C. residents on the record, to have a new constitution, and to be ready. But the reason why we're talking to Republicans today is because we want to emphasize that this is not a partisan issue. We also want to dispel some myths. States can be admitted to our union by a simple act of Congress. It does not require a constitutional amendment. Does not. So the Congress can act and make D.C. a state.
Wonderful. So now, when it does happen, what kind of door will that open up for the city of Washington, D.C.? How's it going to benefit Washingtonians?
Well, it benefits Washingtonians just like every American has the benefit of having senators. We have right now, President Obama has sent to the Congress a Supreme Court nominee that hasn't been acted on. Well, D.C. residents have no voice and no vote in that debate. We want a fully constituted Supreme Court, and we want our senators to be able to vote on it. When the Senate is debating any number of budget issues that affect us, for example, we have a 3-state metro system that relies on senators appropriating funds for the federal government to support our system. Well, we have no vote in those decisions. And so imagine, a capital city, unlike any other capital in the world, where its residents do not have a vote in the Congress. You would think you would be talking about some far-off, underdeveloped place, but instead you're talking about the capital of the United States of America.
What can Washingtonians do to speed up this process?
Washingtonians need to do what we're doing today, not preach to the choir. It was easy for me to talk to Washingtonians. It's even easier for me to talk to my fellow Democrats. I need to talk to people who need to fully understand the situation in Washington, D.C., and encourage them to also be ready and to also be persistent, to talk to their representatives and really put pressure on them when that petition is sitting on the desk of the new Congress people and the new president.
Final question. What can we do to engage the millennials to get them to understand the importance of this to also make this happen?
Millennials are key. One thing I will say is that we have 1,000 people every month move to Washington, D.C., and they come from states all over the United States of America. And what happens when they come to Washington, D.C., is they lose their voting senators. They don't like that.
No.
They don't like it at all. And so we want them to be a part of our movement. We want them to engage their friends and neighbors at the yoga studios, at the happy hours, at the 5Ks, all the fun and interesting things they're doing. We wanted to take, many of them work for Congress people. We want them to take that message to their boss. So when that petition gets to the Congress in January, we're going to be building support for it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, from Washington, D.C., our Mayor, Muriel Bowser, from the 51st state. Handle your business, D.C. We need that. Thank you for your time.